Vedic instruction is just to deliver all suffering humanity from the threefold miseries of material existence. That is the aim and object of Vedic civilization. That means this human form of life is meant for finishing all kinds of troubles. That should be the effort of human being. Actually, they are doing so. Everyone is trying to minimize the miseries of life and get happiness of life. That is the impetus of all activities. But unfortunately, they do not know how to do it. The first thing is that one should very nicely understand the position of material existence. The Sanatana Goswami, who approached Lord Chaitanya, he presented himself that, my dear Lord, people in general, they speak of me that I am very learned man. Grammo Vyavahare Kahoy Pandit. I am very learned man. But actually, when I think of myself, what kind of learned man I am, I do not know what I am. So, this type of advancement of knowledge was simply for material comforts, without knowing about oneself, what I am. That's simply useless labor. One should try to understand what he is. That is also the beginning of Vedanta Sutra, Athata Brahma Jigyasa. One should be inquisitive to understand about himself, Brahma, or the Supreme Brahma. That is the real necessity of this human form of life. The animals, they cannot inquire about himself or about the Supreme. But a human being can inquire that I want to become happy, but miseries are coming upon me one after another. At least one should know what are the miseries. The miseries are three kinds of miseries. It is not the question of one religion or another religion. The miserable condition of life is for everyone. Either he is Hindu or he is Muslim or Christian or Jew, it doesn't matter. Anyone who has accepted this material body has to undergo the miserable condition of material existence. That is a fact. And what are the miserable conditions? There are three types: Adhvatik, Adhibhautik, Adhidaivik. Adhyatmic means pertaining to the body, mind. Everyone is experienced that I am not feeling today well due to some sickness of my body or some mental disturbance. This is called Adhyatmic. And there are other miseries inflicted by other living entities. My enemies, some animals, some mosquito or some bug. There are so many living entities. They are also trying to give me some trouble. This is called Adi Bhautik. And there is another type of misery, which is called Adi Daivik. That is natural disturbance. Severe cold, severe heat, some famine, some earthquake, some disaster, some hurricanes. There are so many things, natural disturbance. So, in either of these three types of miserable condition, we are. But those who are foolish, they do not see to it. Under illusion of Maya, they think, oh, you are very happy. This is called Maya. One is not happy, but he is thinking, I am happy. And they are trying to become happy in so many other ways. But that is not the way of seeking happiness. If we actually want to be happy, then you have to inquire about your constitutional position, what I am. That is meditation. To know, you just think about yourself, whether I am this body. If you think that, suppose you think over meditate upon your finger, you'll come to the conclusion that I am not this finger, it is my finger. I am not this finger. Because if the finger is cut off, that I am not dead, therefore I am not finger. It is very easy to understand. So you meditate on every part of your body. You will come to the conclusion, if you are sane, that I am not this body. The body is mine. I am not this dress. The dress is mine. That is the conclusion. Then what I am? At the present moment, I am identifying with this body, with this dress. That is illusion. Jashatma buddhi kunapi siddhatuke. Bhagavad says, anyone who is identifying himself with this body is an ass. He is not even a human being. Actually it is so, because I am not this body. And the beginning of Bhagavad Gita is with this proposition that you are not this body. Dehinasmin jatha dehi kaumara jovanam jara. The body is growing because I am sitting within this body. A child grows so long the soul is there. If a child takes birth, dead body, it does not grow. That means the soul is not there. That is called dead. So this preliminary knowledge one has to learn. That is called Brahma Jigyasa. The Bhagavad Gita begins from this point, that I am not this body.